All right. Good afternoon, traders. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the hump. Welcome to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options, closing bell. My name is Scott. I will be your host. For those who don't know me, we seem light. I feel like the conditions warrant more people coming. We've had some good trading. They're missing it. They ducked out at the worst time. So if there is anyone new, welcome out. I am the head trading coach here at Tradespoon. I also want to be your friend. I have been trading for over 20 years. I have been teaching for going on, it's actually more like 23 and getting close to 20 years of teaching experience. Can you imagine? I can't. I don't feel that old. Here are the disclosures. Trading's risky. Be careful. Know what you're doing. Manage your risk. We're not advisors, but we're certainly here with you. We're in this together. Those are the disclosures. All right, let's talk about what it is that we know based on what it is that we see, so that we try not to think and feel too much, but just see. What do we see? Oh, it's trying. It's trying to stabilize. We've had a short-term consolidation. Uh, we've been talking a little bit about hedging and what would cause us to hedge, but we've also been talking about bullishness and what makes us bullish and how do we reconcile those two? Because as of right now, as far as what I see, there are bullish setups. A lot of different areas of the market showing bullish setups. We're going to see them. But there's also a little concerning aspect, a couple of concerning things that are putting a little bit of a wet blanket on it. So we've got to take it all, throw it in the soup, stir it together, see what we come up with. The futures are up. S&P up 0.35, Dow 0.23, NASDAQ 0.5%, Russell 0.75. So it is showing leadership from what had been our leading major market components, the NASDAQ and the Russell, which we interpret as being indicative as a higher level of appetite for risk. That supports increased bullishness. Stocks rise as investors await rate. That's terrible headline, Yahoo Finance. Await rate clarity from Fed. I don't like it. Somebody should write a strongly worded email about what a terrible headline that is. Student loan cancellation up to 20,000. That's, maybe that's money that people can trade and they're going to put into the market. I guess I don't think that's going to have much impact. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I don't think it's going to have a lot of impact on the market. It's interesting economically. It's expensive, it seems. But I don't know that the market's going to have a reaction to that. We are definitely concerned about the Fed and what the Fed's going to do. The consensus is one more rate hike. I don't think it's going to be another 3/4. I think they're going to ease up, maybe do a 0.5 point still. Now that we've acclimated to 3/4 rates, it's almost a positive surprise if we get just a half a just. Now it's just a 0.5 point. When we first were getting rate hikes, we're like, oh, what happens if they raise it a 0.5 point? Now we're like, oh, that would be a refreshing surprise. Hello, Bill. Good to see you. Hi, okay. Good afternoon, Phil. It's quiet. I need conversation. Give me some conversation. Let me know. How is trading going? How are you doing? Did you take some profits as we got to the weekend on some of those? We closed most of our bullish trades in advance of that. Talked about the trigger points for some hedging. I would imagine at least some of you got some puts in place. Now the question is, do you take profit on those? Do you hold those? We'll talk about it. The flavor of the day is definitely student loan forgiveness. Who's eligible? What are the earnings rates, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so financial markets are bracing for what could be a very hawkish Jackson Hole speech by Jerome Powell, Jer Bear. I sent him an email to see if I could get a tone check on what he's thinking about. See if he's interested in my perspective. He ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. Hello, Jesus. Glad first time. Love it. Glad you're here. Feel free to ask questions, give observations, whatever compliments you may be inspired to give. I'm open to it all. Absolutely. Let's talk about the economic calendar. And I'm happy to have you here. Good afternoon, John. Good to see you, sir. Okay, durable goods came back flat. Equipment orders slightly positive. Pending home sales down 1%, but we were thinking down 3 and previously down 9. Everybody's like, oh, real estate's like 2008. It's not. It's just not. It's not anywhere close to 2008, right? We don't have any subprime crisis. We don't have any, like a lot of people doing spec homes and getting financing that they couldn't afford and buying. I mean, it's not like that. Are we expecting maybe some stagnation in prices, possibly even a bit of regression? Yes, no problem. It was unsustainable at the rate it was going. Right? With mortgage rates higher, obviously buying power drops. It was unsustainable. Okay, we're just looking to see, can we have a muted response, a slight pullback, nothing too much, and then see maybe some sustainability to it. Great, but I'm not at all worried, and we haven't seen anything in the real estate numbers that suggest anything else along those lines. Thursday, jobless claims, a positive surprise last time. This is one of the strongest aspects of the economy right now. And I've been saying this more frequently recently, but I do believe that stock market conditions are much more sensitive to employment than it is general economic environment. So right now, what's sustaining us is that there's still plenty of money coming in. Everyone's contributing still. Everyone's employed still. The institutions are sitting on plenty of cash still. So there you go. But we have jobless claims coming out. When is the Fed? Oh, so the Fed is Jackson Hole. I thought for some reason the minutes, the Fed minutes were this week, but I think I just maybe had that differently than what it actually is. Were the Fed minutes last week? Oh yeah, sorry, they were last Wednesday. I'm not more concerned. This is 10 a.m. Eastern, right after the market opens. He'll be not that far north of me out here in the West, but he'll be speaking on Friday. I mean, we got a lot between now and then. Jobless claims, some GDP revisions, GDP numbers showing if we are now going into positive growth again. We've got some PCE price indexes, monthly, year over year, income, spending, consumer sentiment. So we'd like to see income. We'd like to see income still increasing. We'd like to see prices obviously dropping. We'd like to see spending down, at least not up, positive, but not necessarily a lot. consumer spending is one of the things that has kept inflation as pervasive as it's been. So a little ebb in spending will certainly ease prices and continue to provide organic relief from inflationary pressures. Yes, consumer sentiment is hopefully staying somewhat strong. But yeah, a lot of information coming out as we get to the end of the week, and definitely capstoned by the Fed and what Jer Bear has to say. Okay, let's keep going. What else do we know? What do we know about Stella? What does Stella tell us? Stella, tell us. So we've had our consolidation, and now the model is saying that it's trying to stabilize, followed by a bullish kick. Now, if we see this stability and then it kicks up over here, well, that tends to wag the tail on up, possibly more aggressively. So overall, I can live with this, right? It's a little bit more tepid, as we've seen the consolidation, moving downward a little bit more. Hello, Bob. Glad you're here. Good to see you. I can live with this, right? I can live with this. I still think we may see a consolidation. We'll talk about the fact that the correlation on the cyclical model has improved and what that tells us, but they tend to be in line right now. So SPY a little bit more neutral, but still has some bullishness. My market posture eased up a little bit, but I'm still positive. 225 or 275 is where I am. It eased a little bit, but not much. Check the 6 month. I will, but only because you said please. Because I am a man of manners and dignity and grace. Six months on the SPY. Ooh, so a little bit uglier there. Interestingly enough, it is the longer term trend on my market posture that still has the most amount of negativity. So there's work to be done here. I'm actually feeling okay about this. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what it does. Let's go QQQ. Range trend is bearish. So it's the model's wondering if we've actually found a bottom yet on this. Okay. So it's bringing a little bit of a check to make sure that we don't rush forward for the with too much risk in mind. So okay, let's keep going. QQQ, let's go IWM. We'll go small caps. Similar to the NASDAQ, like it's trying to catch a bump, but still trying to work it out. I would have to imagine the diamonds looks a little bit more similar to the S&P. So as we look at the Dow actually doesn't. So Stella's kind of taken a little bit of a bearish turn. So apparently the consolidation was a little bigger than she liked. There's some concerns for her. I have some concerns, and I will talk about those concerns. Let's take a quick peek at the cyclical. And you can see this was we talked about it. Look at the correlation. We're back on track, at least to some extent. And it's saying that we could see a nice little bounce. So if this stabilizes, we could have a bounce followed by another consolidation, followed by a possible bull run into the last quarter of the year. Bad hair concern. I always have bad hair concerns. I'm keeping my hair, but I don't really have good hair days. I just have hair days and bad hair days, I guess. It's time for a haircut for me. I'm wearing a hat a lot. What's up? What's up, Chris? How are you, my friend? So I still have, I'm still willing to trade this bullish bounce. I was gonna maybe get a little more aggressive with it, but I'll probably ease up on the number of trades that I'm thinking about based on these concerns that we're seeing cropping up. So, okay, there you go. Here is the heat map. Mixed bag today, right? No real clear path. Tech is not great. A couple of things are, but mostly the chips are somewhat tepid. Financials is okay. Industrials is okay. Consumer cycle, I mean, it's all okay. It's okay. It's maybe showing us a little something, but not a lot. I do want to go through sector rotation, but first, a word from our sponsors. No, but first, look at Apple. I mean, look, right? I'm all for it. It is chomping at the bit. Now, what I would like to see is today, this would be a little bit anticipatory. We are oversold. We have stabilized in the consolidation. What selling there was has really eased up. A bit of a hammer type candle, probably not quite a hammer. The technical definition, the shadow needs to be twice as long as the body. Doesn't look like that's quite there. Okay, I'm fine with that. Give me one bull day tomorrow, right? One more day. That's the confirmation. Today, can you take a trade? Sure. Is it anticipatory? Yes. Yeah, you're anticipating that it's going to bounce. As of right now, the sellers seem to have stopped selling, but we don't have a lot of buying pressure coming in yet. Volumes are light, and right, you can see on Apple, average volume is 65 million. We're at 41 million. I mean, we might get to 50, but probably not much more. So it's going to be a light day. I don't need volume. That's when I have trend. So let's have this quick conversation. When the trend is already established, I don't need volume. I don't need like, oh, I need 120% volume, 150% volume. That's talking about breakout volume. This isn't a breakout. We busted out of this thing back in late June. We're trending now. The trend supersedes the need for a higher volume requirement. So don't be too strict with what you need to see. Right now, what I'm interpreting from volume is that the sellers have run out of steam, and that's opening the door for the buyers to step back through. Okay, let's get a quiz. Sorry, I just kind of jumped into the top of the watch list. It's a short quiz, 30 minutes. But it's the same pattern. You're going to see this same pattern. What do we have? We just had higher highs. This is still a higher low. Even if you're using this as a consolidation, we were down here. We're a little bit above that, still intact. It's good trade, even if it just tests 430. Obviously, it's a better trade if we get a higher high up here to what I would think the next high would be up around 437. So it's intact. Yeah, it's intact. This is the bullish setup. We need a trigger. Don't quite have one, although this is close. But I'd like to see us take out the high. Maybe just a little bit more buyers coming in tomorrow. But I would be ready to trade. A lot of times I wait until the afternoon. This is one day where I'd be willing to trade a little earlier. When I see some strength on the hourly or the 2-hour chart, I'd be willing to go ahead and take a stab at it. Let's get a quiz. It's quiz time. Time for the market quiz. I didn't like that. I'm still playing with ideas for a theme song. All right, here's what we're gonna go with. A's, it's got to get back up to the highs. B's, I'm gonna give you this one here. C's, coming on down. Come on down. 414.20. For those of you who are sticklers of the numbers, 414.20 and above. A. We're going to call it 413.50. 413.50. 413.50 and below. C. 70-cent range for the Bs. Let's hear it. Isn't Powell talking at Jackson Hole tomorrow? Not till Friday, actually, Bob. Not till Friday. Which puts us in a bit of a tight spot because then you're right on the weekend and you got to make a tough decision there. Okay, here we have Chris is a B. Whoever came in as trader, your name didn't come through, but C. Brad is a C. Oh, I lost it. John is a B. John has turned over a new leaf. You know the market's showing additional strength when he's not a C every day as my perma bear. Bill is a C, Phil is a C, LK is a C, Bob is a C, Jesus is a B. You know what? I'm going for the A. In honor of Angelique, who is not with us today, but always thinking about her. The fact that this market is, I think it's bull flagging. It's bull flagging. A, we're going to break. It's going to end up closer to 415 at the end of the day. That's what I'm calling out. Jacques is a B. Let's go see what Stella thinks. Stella. She says, oh, she's neutral. She agrees that we're pulling back, stabilizing, and bouncing. However, she doesn't think we have time to recover. 413.79. Stella is here. She's a B. She thinks it's going to come down a little more, turn back up. 413.79. Stella's a B. Jacques is a B. I don't know if I said that. Okay, everybody's in? Window is closing. Oh, I ride alone today. I ride alone with the spirit of Angelique guiding me to a bullish prediction. Hallelujah. All right, let's go back out. Can I change my answer? Nope, locked in. It's locked in. Oh, if you want to, I'll let you. If you're joining me on A, then yes. Anything else? No. Sorry. Okay. Did we cover everything? We did. Let's talk about the VIX because this is my first concern. Okay. That was a bit nastier of a spike on this gap up. It was interesting because the VIX was in this area here on Friday. And I think I said 21 and a half. Did I say 21 or 21 and a half? I actually bought a couple and then it pulled back. And then I did a couple more on this early breakout here. And now it's just kind of stalling. I mean, this looks like it's going to come back down, right? I already booked some gains on my hedges, but here's my concern is with this gap area. If we come down into this area and stabilize and then turn, if this thing comes down and then turns, that is most definitely a higher low. And any trade I had on, if I am, have some profits. I would be thinking I should probably take some profits. I would definitely be thinking about um, tightening stops on any remaining bullish trades. And I would definitely be putting on a hedge. And depending on how many trades I had left, it would be a hedge slash bearish speculative trade, right? More speculation. So, what does that mean? Yeah, it just means I'm looking for bullishness, but I'm definitely aware of the fact that we could have a higher low. Why is that higher low important, you might ask? Jesus, who is new, might be thinking, why is that so important, Scott? Well, because anytime I have a consolidation that I pop out of, and then I pull back, and then I get a higher low, bing, I have a consolidation, I pop out of it, I pull back, higher low, bing, I have a consolidation, I pop out of it, I pull back, higher low, bing, I have a consolidation, I pop out of it, it pulls back. What happens? We ended up in the low 30s here within 7 to 10 days. We ended up in the low 30s to mid 30s here within 5 to 7 days. We ended up in the mid to low to mid 30s here within 5 to 7 days. What's my concern? That we end up here. That's a very accurate indication. Very accurate. And that has me nervous that it hasn't happened yet. I'm not like, oh, right? So far, all that's happened is it's popped up out. Now, if all of a sudden things drop all the way back down here, okay, it's not a higher low. It's well, we're back where we were. And if that happened, then I would think we might get something like this, which then becomes a lower high. And a lower high, bing, 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 bing. Those are, get in, let's go, let's rally. Let's see if this thing drops back now. I would love to see a VIX down in the mid to low teens for a rally in there. So why is stochastics already as high? Because the stochastics, remember, this is a 7-3 stochastics. So it's really only looking at the last 3 and 7 days. And if you look at where we are now, let me change colors to make this stand out. If you look at where we are now in here relative to the last 3 to 7 days, which were in here, it's significantly above, and that will cause that thing to jump up there. It's not too concerning to me. It's just that's why it popped up that high. You'll notice that we got, fairly close there. Fairly close there. Not as close there, but it same thing right here, right? It's not that uncommon, and I'm still gonna read it the way it stands now. So I'm very concerned about the development of a higher low coming out of whatever this is, and I'm gonna make sure that I pay very close attention to that going forward from here. All right. Yes, we're all on the same page. It's all clear as crystal. And we're ready to look at our watch list. Let me know if not, if you have any questions. Alcoa, I don't love it. I don't think materials are doing that well overall. So I definitely have a bit of concern about that, without a doubt. What else? Let's keep going. Apple. I think Apple looks good. It's not quite, I wouldn't consider this a cup and handle because we're still off of these old highs. But it would be if it pops up from here and it gets to 180, then the next move down is the handle. And if we can break 180, I'll tell you what, there could be something above that. But right now, that is a valid setup from both perspectives. I just need one more bit of turn. Depending on how much it turns, we might, get with the confirmation of the earnings, or it's not the earnings, with the confirmation of the signal. There could definitely be something for us in that regard. So, yeah. Okay. Earnings tonight. Who's reporting? Anyone big reporting? Nvidia, Raymond said. Okay, Nvidia chips. That could definitely provide a short-term catalyst for the chip stocks. CRM, okay, software, ADS, SPLK, NTAP. Yeah, okay. Bob's got the T. He's got the inside track. Let's keep going. ADI, chip stock. So the chip stocks got to new lows. Now, here's the deal. You might think, oh, Scott, that's a lower low, so you would avoid it, right? I always give one leeway to the most recent, especially if there was a heavy climb before. So if it's like here, I'd still be like, you know what? I can still live with this. If this turns, there's still a heavy favorability to me wanting to put on a bullish trade on a chip stock. But certainly, I want to see what the earnings say from Nvidia. So we'll play it by ear. It looks like it could turn and give us a little something. Archer Daniels, I traded it. I've taken all my profit at this point. I'm waiting for a consolidation. So we'll see what happens. Last trade really came in around this area here, coming off of this bounce. I got out at this point. AMD, we took it. It didn't fly. We closed it. I closed around here. It's pulled back. I'd still give it a thought. I'm definitely thinking about a chip, a semiconductor, and we'll see what that looks like. Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Look at Amazon. Hold right at that gap. Stochastics is turning. That's worth looking at today. Let's go faster so we can get to that and talk about if we want to put a trade on there. AXP. AXP looks pretty good, actually. We made money on AXP a little bit ago. Maybe another bite at the apple. Who's making notes of the short list? Boeing looking like it's trying to turn around here. My goodness, the early letters providing us with some fuel here. Let's see. Let me get my note cards out. Amazon, AXP, Boeing, Alibaba. No, I don't care if it's a big day. This has work to do, and that work involves breaking out of this and then consolidating for a higher low. If it doesn't look like that, I'm not trading it. What are the three again? Amazon, AXP, and BA. Bank of America, close. It's turned a little bit down here, but we really didn't take out the high of yesterday's body. I'm going to say close, but it's on the list. Bank of America. Okay, BBBY. What am I looking for? I'd take anything in that range. If it comes up in here and stalls out and starts to roll over, I'm gonna go short or buy. I probably wouldn't buy a put. What did I lose? Okay, I know what I'm missing now. I'm like, my charts look off. Look off. Let's put some imp volatility into the mix. Makes my drawings off now, but that's okay. This vol is through the roof. Options are ridiculously expensive. So I'm thinking maybe a bear call spread or a bear put spread. Maybe even like a ratio spread where if it gets up here to 1250 and rolls over, maybe I sacrifice a dead spot in here in order to get faster movement here, because I think this thing could fall back down to this $5 or $6 level. So, okay, let's keep an eye on it. This is what I'm looking for. This is definitely on my list as a short candidate. There you go. Okay, Dutch Brothers Coffee. Oh, Dutch Bros. What? What? On the list? Caterpillar? No. Not yet, for sure. ConocoPhillips, now it's overextended. Costco, on the list. Early, setting up, but it's on the list. DBC is a no. John Deere is a no. Diamonds, setting up. Walt Disney, you've got it engulfing and you have a pinch, but you don't have a turn. It's anticipatory, but it looks pretty good. So Disney's looking all right. Ford actually looks pretty good. I'd put Ford on the list. My goodness. Got a lot of signals. Nothing there. Nothing there. I just don't like precious metals right now. I don't know. There's just something about them that I don't like it. IWM looks fine. Jets looks good. Put it on the list. If you want to bullishly trade, there's setups around. I would even say Meta is on the list. The artist formerly known as Facebook. Marvell, chips, we're waiting for that to react. Microsoft is close, but it's on the list. Not really triggering, but definitely close. Neo, I'm going to say no. NVIDIA, we've got earnings. We got to see. QQQ looks okay. Starbucks, I'm going to put that with Dutch Brothers. We made money on Starbucks recently, and I'm certainly willing to do it again. Silver's a no. SMH, no. SPY looks pretty good. Tesla is a no. UNG, it's choppy, but it moved. We saw it. We talked about it. I passed. I think a couple of you maybe traded it. I hope that if you did, you stuck with it and got out above 32.5. Visa, no. I like AXP better. VIX coming down. XLP is close to a trade. XLU, so XLU is on my list. Now, I don't love it, but it is defensive, and it does bring a bit of diversification to what you're thinking about, probably. Retail. Ooh, retail's pretty close, actually. Everyone's like worried about retail, but I still think it looks bullish. If it gets a confirmation, I would be willing to think about it. Okay, now of these, Amazon, I would consider to be valid today. AXP, valid today. Boeing is valid today. Bank of America is, I would say not quite yet. Starbucks and Dutch Brothers, I would say yes. Costco, I would say not yet. Disney, I would say not yet. It's close. It's got a good candle. It's missing a little bit down here. Ford, I would say Ford is a go. Jets is a go. Meta is a go. Microsoft is a wait, but it's very close. And retail and utilities are a wait. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's like 7 of these. Let's go through the model on them and pick one to kind of think about building a trade on. We've got some time here. I think I'll get it done. AMZN. Same brothers that make Dutch Boys paint? Nah, I think the coffee guys are different. AMZN, Stella doesn't like it. She's a bit concerned. AXP. Some concern. She may be concerned with all of them. She's a little conservative right now. Boeing. Ooh, she doesn't like Boeing at all. So I'll maybe take Boeing off the list because of that. I'm actually going to go Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks is flat. Not terrible. Let's see, Dutch Brothers, bros. What's up, bros? Nope, doesn't like it. She's picky today. She is picky. Jets, Jets. Jets, negative. Ford. Oh, I'll tell you, she just can't find anything she likes. Meta. Okay. I mean, it really seems like maybe Meta and Amazon have the most amount of stability as far as that goes. But yeah, going with Costco or holding off. I mean, we don't, we definitely don't need to, rush into it per se. But certainly we want to have an yeah, we'll go from there. We don't have to trade. Absolutely right. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's go look at them. Here is Amazon. Oof, and you can see it's actually fading a little bit here. You can see the fade. It wanted to try, but it's fading a little bit. Let's see Meta. If Meta's doing the same thing, we may just wait. Meta. Ooh, okay. So Meta's okay. Let's play with it. Let's put a target at 180. Let's put a stop at 158.5. And let's see what it looks like. 458.5. No, let's go 158.5. That makes more sense to me. What does our vol look like? The options are cheap relative to what they've been. Someone like Starbucks better. I mean, I don't disagree. They're pretty similar. I like Starbucks fine. So if you're thinking about it, certainly no problem taking those same steps that we're taking here. What are we doing? We're defining a stop, a target, a time frame. I mean, this thing should be done by the end of next week, even if it works, right? So I'll go out to Friday the 2nd to quantify my time, and probably go out to the September 16th, and I'll probably go with something a little bit more out of the money, maybe the 170s. A lot of open interest there. And let's see. So one contract is going to be about 285 of risk, 777 of gain. Yeah, a little less than 3-to-1. That makes sense. Let's see if I like possibly like a bull call spread better. Let's see if we go 165 by 170. Still a little bit aggressive. And we'll uncheck this. We'll dial this back. I can actually get 3 of these. Now this says I'm only making 550. So you can see that it's just not giving me enough up here to sustain. Let's see if I do 160 by 165. That really doesn't help. I don't like the vertical spread. I think I prefer just buying the call, but it is a little expensive. Yeah, you know what? Let's just let's hold off. No reason to force it. I don't love the logistics of this trade. We still are possibly a little early. Let's give it another day. Now, here's the deal. We will be talking as the Jackson Hole Symposium kicks off. So Friday morning we will be together. I will be here at 15 minutes before market opens. If we have setups, this is a time where I would be willing to pull the trigger in the morning based on, are we down at 420? Well, that could give us a little bit. I mean, that puts us 250 risk, 810 gain. That's not a lot of risk. Well, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna put one on. Oh, we're down at, yeah, there we go. 420 filled. Okay. You know, get one piece of something in place. It's 250 of risk for one contract. Let's see how it goes. And now let's see who wins. Beautiful. 420. 420 was the live, Phil. John got 420 live. 420. I got 420 live. Let's go back to SPY. We're running out of time. Oh, I don't think my prediction came through. Oh, it wanted to. Look at that. It wanted to for a minute. I believe we said 414.20. So it popped up into the A range, and then it just sort of rolled over. Ooh, it looks like the bees are getting it today. Bees. B's, I'm calling it. It's 8 cents away from the level. I know the C's are like, just let it go. It'll get there. It very well might, but I'm calling it early. B's, congratulations on your lovely new gold medals. And C's, I'm very sorry. A's, me and John, I changed it, John. I gave it to you. You're with me. Ride or die. Ride or die. Stella wins again. And what trade was meta? The meta trade was a September 16th 170 call. I mean, honestly, if it's not moving by Friday afternoon, there's a very good chance I would just shut it down and not ride the weekend. Fail fast, fail cheap. That's my thought process. So there you go. Whew. All right. It's been lovely hanging out with you guys. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's just me. There's not plural of me. I was speaking for you, assuming that you all thoroughly enjoyed yourselves. I'll see you Friday morning. We'll have coffee together and wax philosophically about all things market related. So I hope you can join me. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great Thursday. See you Friday. And as always, happy trading.